I'm probably going to cry, but I'm a teacher. Well, he was my teacher at Colbreth in 89 and 90.
Isn't that awesome?
Okay. And yeah, so hopefully this will all make sense. Are there former students here from?
I think you're
EJ.
TJ is, AJ is, yeah.
and
You don't-
Moo
And Moo and Moo, yeah.
So when I entered 7th grade at Colbreth, I remember seeing this guy with a beard and a lab coat walking around and thinking, who is this guy? And then I remember hearing rumblings that if his honors class got A's, I think it was a final exam, that they got to shave his beard. And they got to shave his beard, and I just remember thinking, I want to be part of that. Like, I think that's so cool. I want him as my teacher. And on a side note, like, I'm a historian, okay? So I'm not, or I thought at the time I wasn't scientifically inclined. So fortunately enough, 8th grade, I was surprised and got him for earth science. Yeah. And God, there's so many things I want to say. But I want to first start off by saying that Mr. Brown, Tom's classroom was a safe place for me. My home life was beyond chaotic. And I got a girlfriend right here. I don't think I ever told you how much it meant to have that place just to be, or to have an adult that believed in me academically and as a person, to have a place where I felt normal. And I just can't tell you how important it was to me. And I just wish that everybody had that in school. And just realized how awesome Tom was, because, well, I'm sure you know this, you either liked him or you didn't.
Ask his sisters.
And, well, I did well in earth science, and I got to do honors physical science the next year, and I was so excited. And I remember all the assignments, and I remember that on my, what was it, like my 14th birthday was the final exam. Like, crappy luck, the exams were always on my birthday. I somehow managed to fail the exam. I don't know how that still happened. But he didn't, he still supported me academically, and when I wasn't getting that at home, I needed that at school to know that I could do it. So, okay, so there's that piece. And then, so I'm a professor and in the humanities, social sciences. And I was driving my children to where their dad was working today, and I was explaining to them why I was coming up here. And I said, you know, I had this teacher named Mr. Brown, and yeah, Mr. Brown. And, you know, and my 10-year-old's autistic, very sciencey. And I said, he made me love science and realize that I could do science, and that science wasn't just a worksheet. It was dropping eggs off buildings, which got an A. It was putting books on top of toothpicks and seeing how high the pile could get. It was building a mousetrap out of my erector set and Legos. It was doing creative projects, and I was a creative person. And I always tell people that my dad was the reason I became a professor, and when I was driving down here, I realized that that's totally wrong. Because, you know, Tom introduced me to research in 8th grade when we did recycling, and I wrote letters to the governor and the representatives, and I started learning how to do research. I mean, I was in 8th grade and using the undergrad library at UNC. So I didn't realize that my love for research and what I would do later in life was profoundly impacted by what you taught me and the way you taught, because I use that in my college classroom. I am not a lecturer, I'm not a worksheet person. I am somebody that likes to show students how what you're learning in my classroom is applicable to your daily life, and that's what you did. Like, so we were having a conversation about gravity on the way down, and my egg thing that was super simple. It was Yellow Pages, so I had to explain to my son what the Yellow Pages were. And a pillow on top of the Yellow Pages, and then my egg on top of the pillow, and just dropped it. And people tried to do all these convoluted things.
On top of
Yeah.
the gym roof at Cobra.
So, you know, and in high school, Tom and I had a lot of conversations in the library, and I always knew that I could go to him. And I just want you to know that I can't be the only one that you had a profound impact on. And, you know, you helped me survive middle school, you helped me survive high school emotionally and academically. You gave me a sense of self-confidence that I wasn't getting. You showed me how to be a good teacher, you showed me how to be a good mentor, and you showed me how to be a good friend. Because I'm notoriously bad at returning letters.
You're not alone.
And,
Nobody writes me back, so don't feel bad.
No. He gets mail. That's not true. He does have friends that write him. But, yeah.
you know, he never gave up on me and would always reach out for me whenever he could. And I just want to know that I appreciate you and love you for everything. And even though I had probably never told you all these things, but so that's why I drove all the way here.
I'm just glad you're here.
Right, they came and visited me in Massachusetts.
All this learning by doing, experiential education. They were having the best time watching him drop their eggs from the roof, see if they would break, fly the paper airplane. I think you did the one with the cars going down, something with the cars I remember. And I was thinking, what a great way for kids to learn. And so I really tried to model what I did off of what he did. And the kids would get all excited about it, and they also understood that it was a lot of work, and sometimes they complained about that, but to see the joy on their face, when they did the project, mine didn't break, oh, mine broke, but you know, very good spirit. And so I always try to model my teaching. I retired 4 years ago, by the way. Even though you wouldn't know it by how much I work now, but nonetheless, I tried to model what I did. I taught history, or as I say, my version of history. I taught that, and so I tried to incorporate that hands-on learning. And we were at Colbert for about 4 or 5 years, and then they moved the started the process of moving the 9th grade to the high school because they were transitioning from being a junior high to middle school, moving the 9th grade up. So I preceded him to Chapel Hill High, I think, by a couple of years. But one of the things that we shared was our love of baseball. And even though he was a Mets fan, and I can't quite understand, still can't quite understand how someone can be a Mets fan, but that's just me. I don't understand how someone can be a Yankees fan either, so don't worry about that. So, I grew up loving the Red Sox and the Cardinals.
And let's not forget the Cubs.
So anyway, but we would go to Durham Bulls game, and occasionally, we would take some of the kids with us, and so I remember one day we were driving through Ridgewood subdivision, and I think we had one or two kids in the car, and we saw this one kid walking down the street near our house. Now, I believe it was Stacy McKell.
I think it was.
And so we stopped to say hello, and well, we're going to Durham Bulls, you want to go? So she runs home, asks her parents if she can go, and of course, free babysitter, sure. And gave her some money, and off we went with these, I think there were two or three other kids, off we went to see the Durham Bulls. But we really loved that, and we shared our love of not only baseball, but baseball history. And I always was, and we still share our love of baseball and baseball history. When we went to Chapel Hill High, we got involved in this program along with Teresa and then Judy Jones, called School Within a School. All right? It was basically interdisciplinary learning where you had, the kids had the same core group of teachers, and we did all kinds of fun activities that we would take a topic and they would have to learn about the science behind it, the social studies behind it, so forth and so on. And we would do these overnight field trips. We went one time to, what was it, Laurel Mountain State Park, where we went, and then Carolina Beach another time. And I got to say, the work that I got back from the students in doing that was among the best I ever saw in terms of understanding the relationship between all the different disciplines. And I was just thinking, why don't we do more of that? But it just, for whatever reasons, and all beyond our control, it just never took off like it should have, and I think we all still kind of miss that. But so he came to Chapel Hill High. We were there together about 4 or 5 years, and then East Chapel Hill High opened, and I went over to work there. So professionally, at least in terms of working together, we parted ways. But through the years, we remained friends. I come up here several times a year. Always know I'm going to get good food, I'm going to get good beer, and he always knows in exchange for that he's going to get good brownies.
Amen.
So I would make his brownies, bring them up here, so that's always a good way to get yourself invited back, to bring stuff like that. But while we were up here, we would have these conversations, and we would be supporting each other's ideas and philosophies about education, and complaining about central office or the state, or complaining about this, complaining about that, and talking about, how much better education would be if only we were running the show.
That's right.
And then, everything, we solved all the problems of education over the beer, brownies, the food, and, but nonetheless, I substitute teach now, and I was at an elementary school, and this teacher assistant, second grade class, says, she said, oh yeah, my daughter went to, I can't remember now, she told me it's Chapel Hill High or Carver, I can't remember now which high school but she said, did you know Mr. Brown? I went, oh yeah, I know him very well. She said, I love me some Mr. Brown. And she said, he was so good for my daughter. I said, I cannot remember the TA's name or the daughter's name. But the one story she told me, she said, she always knew when he had that bow tie on that he was serious. Now, you didn't mess around when you were wearing that bow tie. Usually when they were having a test, she knew better not to mess around when you were wearing that bow tie. And so I told him today that when I came in, I said, I got a great bow tie story for you. So I don't know if he'd ever heard that. But in closing, I would like to, on behalf of thousands of students, when I retired, I figured I taught over 3,000 students, so I know you've done a lot more than that. But on behalf of thousands of students, untold number of parents, colleagues, and me too, congratulations and thank you for a job so well done.
Here, here.
Okay.
I've been a colleague, I've been a pilot partner, I've been a whole bunch of things. But the most important thing is, before I even knew Tom, I was a parent. And I don't know that there's a parent in the room tonight that can tell you this story. So, my son was in 9th grade, and after the first quarter of biology, which is a hard course, he came home and he said, you know, I have this really hard teacher. You know, he's really hard, like, you know, he's not helping me, he's just like, you know, he's just making things really hard. And I have like an 83, 84, you know, a C, and he's not even interested in talking to me about a B. And I said, well, I better get involved, right? So I made this parent conference. So, and this is the year before I started teaching with Tom. So I go to this parent conference, and I bring Ryan, of course, who is 29 and getting married in December. And I bring Ryan.
Not then.
No,
Right, yeah.
not then. No, he was actually 14 at that time.
Anyway.
So he, I thought they got that. Okay, so he,
I was clarifying for myself.
thank you. So he, so we walk into the room, and I had taught for many, many years. I've got like 20 years in the business, and I had taught for many years. And we walk in the room, and he's got these chairs set up so that he's got a chair, and then a couple of chairs. And I'm thinking, well, this is odd. So he says, Ryan, have a seat. And then he sits right across from Ryan. Well, the only thing left to do is sit in that chair over there by myself. So I sit over there, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. And so he starts talking to Ryan. So Ryan, tell me what's going on. So tell me what the problem is. So tell me what the issues are. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm not going to be a part of this at all. And it was the greatest thing. So within 10 minutes, because we only had 15 minutes for conferences, some parents thought we had an hour and 15 minutes. We had 15 minutes for conferences, and by the end of this, he has my son saying, well, you know, I'm really not working that hard. And I want to say, well, Ryan, tell him all the other stuff. And he's like, well, no, I really, you know, I wait till late to study, and I'm not really studying hard. And Tom says, well, let me show you something. You know, this is really, you got to divide it up, and you got to, and I'm like, I've told him this, like I'm a teacher. So we left, we went home. We went home, and I never said a word. I thought it was brilliant. We went home, and the next day, Ryan came home, and he said to me, so Mr. Brown came up to me today during the review, and he goes, you're not going to ace my test tomorrow, are you? And I said, what'd you say? And he said, yeah, I am. And he got a 95 on the test. Yeah. And I will never forget that as long as I live. Because I had many years of teaching, and he taught me how to have a parent conference. And I had every parent conference, now I'm going to cry. I had every parent conference after that. No, that's okay. I had every parent conference after that exactly the way he did. So I was at the beach with my son on Friday, and I said, 29, now, getting married. And I said, I know, it's so awesome. And I said, yeah, I'm going to Tom Brown's retirement party. And he said, quirky guy with the bow tie. And he said, long tie if you had a test. And I said, okay. And he said, one of the best I ever had. And
The tune we should all know.
Is it a baseball song?
This is a retirement song, but
And some things don't work.
I didn't do this.
I'm gonna ask everybody to go outside.
Like I have fire teams.
You're the tech guy.
You're my biology teacher.
Anybody who is able, I want y'all to go outside, out this door over here, because there is a timeline. There is a photographic timeline along the fence. And so you might get a giggle, a chuckle, of some of the photos. But there's some of the, just some of the things that he's done, where he's been, approximately started around 82, 83, and then it ends at the present here over by this porch in the backyard. But yeah, so there's a timeline. If you're able to get down the stairs and walk around the yard a little bit, and then when you come back in, it'll be much cooler in here than it is right now because it'll be so hot outside. And then, did you get it? Okay.
He is a high school graduate.
He is yeah.
Maybe we should do it a cappella. We all know the melody.
Yeah, we all know it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Let's just see.
You got it?
That is true.
Let's just do it.
Okay, so this is to the theme of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Now, if you don't know that, then just pick it up along the way.
Can I just make one note though?
Yes.
It's that line, now it's read, write, brew in your spare time. You know, it's not the end of the song, it's still the middle.
Right.
Right? I know.
Thank you, Teresa.
That's me.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Well, then you start.
Okay.
All right, on your
No pressure.
Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3. Take me out of the classroom. Keep me out of the lab. No more genetics or DNA. Learning and grading have just gone away. Now it's read, write, brew in my spare time. The world before me is mine. So it's 1, 2, retirement's here, so goodbye, Carver, Ohio. Right now, all around, who wrote this? You
Christine and I.
who else?
Christine.
Christine, yes.
Right there, yes.
Very
Yeah, we are the
good.
Christine, yes. Bravo.
Let's do another round. Let's do it again. Ready?
From the top.
Right from the top. 2, 3.
Take me out of the classroom. Keep me out of the lab. No more genetics or DNA. Planning and grading have just gone away. Now it's read, write, brew in my spare time. The world before me is mine. So it's 1, 2, retirement's here. So goodbye, Carver, Ohio.
All right, one more time.
Hey Tom, so enjoy life. Now's your big chance. You made an awesome difference in the world. Get out there, travel, do all those things you wanted to do and didn't have enough time to do it. You're an amazing person. Thanks for being in my life. Thanks for influencing me and my daughter. We love you lots. Enjoy your retirement.
Hi, Tom. This is me. You know what I want to say. I want you to just relax and enjoy. Take off the bow tie, okay? And call me if you need me, okay?
All right.
Okay, so advice for Tom, I would say to just relax, enjoy it. I know you will, you've probably already planned it, but just relax, enjoy your time. This is why you worked. So what 2 things would I say about him? 1, I haven't met anyone I think that plans ahead more. And that's a good thing because I think it affords you a lot of opportunities. And the other thing I would say is thank you so much for taking care of my sister. I really appreciate it.
And brew some beer. Okay.
Hey Tom, I want to raise a glass to you and say cheers to 34 years. I've known you for 25 of those, and it makes me happy to have known you and to have been a part of your life and Paula's, and I hope you enjoy retirement, make it an adventure, the 2 of you, and know that, you know, if you ever need a third wheel, I'm there. Love you guys. Cheers.
Got the question.
Oh, here's
That's
the question.
okay. Oh, Tom, I have to put my glasses on to read the question. Okay, the first question is, what advice do you have for Tom now that he's retired? Don't volunteer for anything for 1 year. Really give yourself time to get a tempo and to let things from the universe unfold, because it will. And then what are two things you could say about Tom? First of all, you were the best team teacher I could possibly have taught with in school, within a school. You, Bob Brogdon, and Judy, and Katie Green and Bev Brown, and you made me a better teacher, and for that I will always be grateful.
I'm honored to be Tom's friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. He came to Chapel Hill and taught at Culbrook, and we watched him develop over the years. And now he's a fine man. I mean, he went through boyhood with us, and he's a fine man, and he's done wonderful things for his students, and he did wonderful things for us because he and Paula presented us with a baby, and that baby came to our dinner group every month. And we enjoyed him, watching him grow up, and now he's graduated, and that's lovely. And what do I say to Tom? I'd say about your retirement, sleep in a couple more mornings, and then get off your butt and start doing good things for the community. And enjoy travel and enjoy a lot. Enjoy life. That's all I can say. We love you. Okay, thank you.
You're on.
Tom, in retirement, learn to relax and take it easy. And don't ever get up at 5 a.m. as you have been doing.
And they lived in Tom. I am so I spent a lot of time at their house. As over the years that we've been together, I see what a fine human being you are, and you've raised TJ to be that same kind of a person. With Paula's help, of course. You can't leave that out. And it was so good tonight hearing about all the good you did as a teacher that I didn't know the details of. So best wishes to you. I hope you have a long and happy retirement.
He came to my 40th birthday.
Okay, Tom, good luck. Find some volunteering work to do that will take your interest and be lots of fun. And enjoy your retirement. Have a long, healthy life. You deserve it. Good.
To you for retirement is to find some things that you really love to do where you can make a difference and continue to be active, and anything that does not have an end of course test.
Are you in the state?
Also,
Are you in
the
North
two things
Carolina?
I would say about you is one thing I remember so much is when I first became aware of you as a teacher, I would go into your room in August, late August, September, and you had Xerox absolutely everything that you needed for the rest of the year, and I was so incredibly amazed at that. Your sense of organization was so wonderful, and I think I learned a little bit from you about how to stay organized.
Perfect.
Mr. Brown, okay. I misread the question, but I want to tell you two things. So, I always gauge my effectiveness as a teacher if I at least had a positive impact on one student, then I did my job. And just know that I am at least your one student. And because I know there were many a times where you wondered about the effectiveness of your teaching and your career as a teacher, and A+. And
Okay, Tom, this is the
Hey,
end
Tom.
of the tape. Hi. It's
Yep.
your sisters.
Just want to say how much I love you, and we're proud of you, and this is a great retirement party, and obviously you made such an impact with your students, and I never had you for a teacher, but you sound like you would be a really good teacher, and thank you for
But we had you as a brother.
That's right.
The most important thing. You're our brother, and we want to just thank you and Paula and TJ for making Mommy and Daddy so comfortable when they came here, because you know what? It was a gift that kept on giving, and
You
you
took
know
them
what?
to church and the dinner group and
Everything
that you did.
Mommy was at peace, Daddy was here, and you know what? We knew they were in such good care that we never worried, ever.
That's right.
And we know that you love them from the bottom of your heart, and thank you very much for making our minds at peace when we were in New York.
Right, so just to have a really good retirement. I know you're going to continue to do good things for this world, and like we all do, and we're blessed to be siblings together, and you know, I love you from my heart.
And we'll never be apart, ever. Love you.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye.